Hi everyone, Ashton here from iCanMed, and in this video we are going to go through how to actually practice properly and improve in doing the UCAT. So the following series of videos will go through each of the individual subtests and individual question types to dissect how to actually improve in practicing. Now, practice is a very strange word because people normally think that practice makes perfect. However, that's not always the case, because if you're not practicing properly, you won't actually improve. And I'm sure many of you watching this video would have realized this, because you can do lots and lots of UCAT questions and suddenly realize that, hey, you're not really improving. Now, there's many various reasons for this. Okay, now the main big reason is because there's not many people out there that actually teaches UCAT. So when you go in and practice UCAT, you wouldn't have actually had a lot of good teaching to actually teach you all the techniques like all your other subjects in university or high school. Okay, so that means you're jumping straight into the end of year test without actually being able to know exactly how to do the questions. So of course, you're not going to be able to improve, because for your school subjects, you spend one whole year preparing for these exam questions. But for the UCAT, a lot of people just jump straight into the exam questions without all that teaching. And that's what we here at iCanMed are trying to do. We are trying to provide all that teaching that your teachers in high school and university give you before you reach those end of year exam questions. So we have gone through literally over 100,000 questions, broken down the UCAT, come up with a curriculum and processed everything so that every question can be done in a step-by-step process. Because what many people are doing now is they're picking up the question and they're taking a look at it, and then they are looking at the solutions, but the solutions only tell you, whether you got the answer right or wrong. Okay, a lot of the times the solutions is just a few lines of text that say, oh yes, the answer is B because of paragraph 2, line 3. Okay, so yes, that might answer the question itself, but it doesn't answer the bigger question in, well, how did you actually know that this answer was from paragraph 2, line 3? What was the step-by-step thinking from way at the beginning of the question that made you realize that the answer was in paragraph 2, line 3? Okay, so that's what we at iCanMed are here for. We don't just give you practice questions with just the, 2 or 3 sentence solutions. Okay, we give you the step-by-step process that actually enables you to realize how to get the answer from step number 1. Okay, so that in the future, you know exactly the step-by-step process in order to do any logical reasoning question. And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to building up your logical reasoning, not just remembering a bunch of answers or a bunch of definitions, okay, but it is actually understanding the piece of information that's given in front of you and working your way step by step so that you can ultimately end up at the solution. And if you make a mistake, okay, it's not just looking at the final step to see where you went wrong, but going back and seeing exactly which step that you made a mistake in so that you can identify it, correct it, and be able to adjust yourself in the future so that you can do any question from step 1 to the final step. So we have a bunch of questions for you guys to do. Feel free to download these questions, but keep in mind, it is not just about doing questions, seeing the answers. Okay, please go on to the videos where we actually break down that step-by-step process in order to do the questions properly for any questions that you are actually given for that particular question type. So get pen and paper ready, okay, because you're going to be taking a lot of notes down, because this is not going to be just, 2 2-sentence, 3-sentence answers. Okay, we're going to be breaking everything down into very, very specific processes so that you can take home and use yourselves in order to help actually improve your logical reasoning in order to improve your UCAT score. Okay, now this has worked for many of our students. So last year in 2019, we have had more than 700 people score in the top 10 percentile. So that's the 90th percentile or above. And, almost 400 of those people actually had a score of 3,000, which was 96 percentile or higher. So we are extremely, extremely confident in our techniques, and we know that they work. And why do we know that work? Because if you break everything down into steps, from the first step to the last step, everything makes logical sense. And that's how it should be for you guys. So if you're doing lots and lots of UCAT questions and things still don't make sense, okay, please pay lots of attention to the videos down below where we go through each of the question types. So I look forward to seeing you guys, and best of luck.